Man, images and sounds have always had a profound impact on the psyche of humans.
The influence of media, whether it be through television, whether it be through sound.
Our eyes are not a part of our body, but it is more, they're more a part of the brain.
There's a lot of science and spiritual connection to frequencies.
They use images and sounds to cause us to move in ways that would shame us.
They're showing on the screen women more masculine and more powerful. They're pushing, men. They're pushing homosexuality and showing men in a more feminine and lower state.
Children who watch television programs at a certain frequency, the green is more green than green, the blue is more blue than blue. You
Right.
know, they lose what's called situational awareness. So these children are unable to identify their place in their environment and their relation to it. It's all one smooth agenda.
So let me
Right.
change gear. I want to go in a whole nother direction. I don't know how much you know
Yeah.
about this, but I want to ask you, what do you think about this Hollywood agenda? What I would say the new Hollywood agenda. Maybe it's not so new. Maybe it's just starting to rear its ugly head. But this agenda they have in Hollywood, this Hollywood is participating in this agenda, possibly. Maybe they're not behind the agenda. Maybe they're helping to push the agenda. But this agenda of
Mm,
putting women over men, and
mm.
I think the latest and probably biggest caveat for this is the movie Barbie.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, I haven't seen this movie,
yeah.
but I've I've come across some very interesting information concerning this movie. But before I go into all, I just want to know what is your thoughts on this role that Hollywood is playing in shifting the mindset of society and putting women over men. And I'll give you some examples of what I mean. Uh, Iron Man is replaced by a woman. Um,
Right.
the
Black
what's it?
Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther replaced by a woman.
Mm,
Thor got replaced by a woman. Not
mm.
not Thor the character, but in the movie,
Yeah,
the girl became the queen of Asgard. And she became the king of Asgard as a
yeah.
woman. So you starting to see this agenda, and at the same time, while they're showing on the screen women more masculine and more powerful, they're pushing men. They're pushing homosexuality and showing men in a more feminine and lower state. So what do you make of that? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, man, images and sounds have always had a profound impact on the psyche of humans.
That's
You
one
could
hundred
be
percent.
sitting somewhere feeling all safe and comfy, and all of a sudden you hear some leaves rustle right outside your window. You automatically like, what was that? You see what I'm saying? Just because
Mhm.
of a sound, right? If you could be sitting somewhere comfortable, and all of a sudden a dark figure appears on the corner or in a hallway where you didn't expect them to stand. They ain't making a noise, but you saw an image. So images and sounds have always had a profound impact on our mental stability, man. Just our overall sanity, of course. Nobody likes sudden sounds or sudden images appearing in
Right.
their around them. But if we take that sort of base level instinct and we extrapolate out, we begin to see the importance that Hollywood wields, that authority or that influence they wield in our lives. Right? They use images and sounds to cause us to move in ways that would shame us. Right? They use image and sound. There was something Kanye was talking about. I'm not a big Kanye fan, but I watched a podcast he did a while ago, and he was talking about how music sounds differently, not because music sounds differently, right? But he went into how the actual beats, the megahertz and the kilohertz of the
Uh-huh. The
electronic
frequencies.
instruments, the frequencies of
Yeah.
the music. He said, so it's not just because music instruments change, but it's the frequency at which they allow us to transmit music
Uh-huh.
changed, right?
There's a certain, yeah, because
And
there's a certain frequency that most almost all the music that you hear is recorded on a certain frequency.
It's like
Actually,
800, like
yeah, I learned
800 or
about.
something like that.
Say again.
I think it's like 800 or something similar,
Yeah, well,
like
you know,
800
right now you got
megahertz.
the new 808s and all that stuff. People but people understand that frequency there's a lot of science and spiritual connection to frequencies.
Yeah,
You can make certain shapes with frequencies. You can affect certain life with frequencies. You can
right.
kill plants with frequencies. You can make
Hmm.
plants flourish with certain frequencies. um
Hmm.
Classical music gives off a certain frequency, and it's more conducive to
Right.
learning, right?
Yeah.
Plants grow. If you play rock and roll, and a lot of the rap music, the plants will actually die because of the
Mm.
frequency so there's a lot behind that. So it's
That's
not
a
just
personal attack, brother.
huh?
That's a personal attack, brother. You coming for me?
What I forgot your rap name. What was your rap name?
No, I listen to rock. I listen to rock and roll,
Oh,
alternative rock. Yeah, I'm not a
like
rap. I don't like
now,
rap music.
like now,
Yeah, what you mean? Yeah,
like you
now what you
listen to
mean?
rock now. Like I mean, it's bad enough you listened to it back
Alternative rock.
then.
Yeah,
I don't know.
now I listen to
I don't
it
know the difference between alternative rock and hard rock cafe. I don't know.
now. Yes.
But
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
get what
man,
you're saying, though. Yeah,
yeah, but these frequencies and all this stuff, man, is real. It's a lot to it behind that, man. So when you start talking about that, and how the effect it have, that's real. And people and a lot of
yeah.
people are unaware of this. So you were just saying about the I guess the influence of media, whether it be through television,
Hmm.
whether it be through sound. But go ahead and continue.
Hmm. Yeah, and so in they understand the importance that color and shape have on the eye, right? Like this neurologist pointed out on the Joe Rogan podcast how our eyes are not a part of our body, but it is more they're more a part of the brain. If you
Right.
look at the development of the eyes, it's just a piece of the brain that was squeezed through two apertures at the back of your skull. This is just brain that was pushed through two holes. So it is literally, quite literally, an extension of the brain, right? And so it occupies a very unique capacity in the body, not just for the translation of visual information, but even through even a certain pattern of lights being transmitted through the optic nerve is able to cause the brain to go into a comatose state,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it's able to cause the brain to be hungry. They even found this is real crazy that you can even cause the eyes to become to gain astigmatism and the brain to have migraines just by varying the frequency of the refresh rate on your television or on a monitor, right?
Absolutely.
So
I mean, it
so
happens all the time, and that's why you got the blue light filters and all that stuff,
yes,
and the
exactly,
flashes.
exactly.
And we see that, and just not to cut you off, but just to add to what you're saying, this
Hmm.
really became prevalent, and the effects of it became known when I want to say around '98 when they started doing what's it called, flash flash screen or I forget, but it's certain cartoons that use this kind of movement, like Dexter's
Mm,
Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, and the way it was flashing, it affected children's brain. And this is when you started
yeah,
really seeing the rise of ADD because
ADHD, yeah, and all that stuff.
it made it difficult for children to focus for long periods of time because these flash frames or I forgot what the term is, but it was it
Mhm.
cut from scene to scene. It wasn't like there's a fluid motion. It was like a one scene, boom, then another scene, and that's kind of what we see now with social media. Everything has to be these
Right.
even when you watch like I watch Vlad TV interviews and stuff like that, and you'll see every night he'll just have the screen do something different because that's how people's brains are programmed now.
Yeah, you're
So,
right. And
but
I've seen
those
so much of that.
flashes and stuff that have affect the human brain. But go ahead.
Now I've seen a lot of that in adult and in children's
Yeah.
programming, man. Just like what you talked about with them TV shows, even the colors. Neuroscientists are looking at, how colors, because the colors that children see in the television are different than what they see in reality. And
Mm,
so children who watch television programs at a certain frequency. The green is more green than green. The blue is more blue than blue. You
right.
know, they lose what's called situational awareness. So these children are unable to identify their place in their environment and their relation to it. right?
Mm.
So these are the children who walk in the street chasing the ball, or these are the children who are messing with something sharp, not realizing that it's dangerous. They don't realize it, because there's a certain part of their awareness that's been effectively nullified because they've been sort of their mind has been flooded with these vibrant and hyper stimulating images uh, that's being projected at them through these tablets and laptops and televisions.
Well, and
And
screens
this
are
is all
something else.
yeah, the brains of something else. And this is all again, these are all instruments of Hollywood, man. When you trace these television shows and all this back, you see that the people who are invested in these studios, who allow these TV shows to be produced in these studios, the ones who own them, it all goes back to these execs in Hollywood, man. And so it's all one agenda, the same hyper stimulation and hypersexualization and hyper vigilance and hyper violence that you see um, through daytime television and children's shows is the same that you see in movies. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all one smooth agenda.